let's create a fictional situation, which is also realistic for some people. So I happen to have one truly amazing and wonderful sister. So she does not fit this story at all. Just disclaimer right there. She's been one of my truest, greatest friends my whole life. So because I care about our relationship so much, I realize there might be someone watching who maybe has had some friction and some conflict with their sister. And I'm just going to use this as an example, but maybe you can heal it. Maybe you can reach out. And the way to do that is to start by believing that it can get better. So I'm going to show you this demonstration as an example. And let's say you have a sister that you had a falling out with. Now, a falling out, I wouldn't put here in the circumstance cloud because that's very much a subjective description. Someone else might say that it wasn't a falling out. Someone else could describe it differently. She might even describe it differently. So because that seems to have a little bit more of a personal judgment or take on it, I wouldn't put that in the cloud. I wouldn't say the relationships had a fallout. I would try to look for maybe more of a specific quote, something that she said that you were upset about, or something she did, um, or a truth like, we haven't talked in 5 years. Let's say that. That'd be so hard. That would be sad. I would not like to not talk to my sister for 5 years. That's why I want to encourage you to look for how you can restore relationships, because they are so valuable and they do lend so much joy to our lives when we can work through disagreements. Okay, so let's pretend that you have a sister you haven't spoken to in 5 years. Okay, haven't talked to sister in 5 years. Okay, so that would be a circumstance. That could be something measurable, something that anyone could verify. Yeah, it's true. They haven't talked in 5 years. So there's not really any judgment attached to it and personal interpretation. That's just what it is. They haven't talked. So if I were to think, I bet she's still mad at me. It's her fault we haven't talked for 5 years. Okay, let's start to put some of these thoughts that are going to continue to support that idea that we shouldn't reconcile. This is where it should be. Okay. And again, we're talking about the story that you're writing, your autobiography that you're writing in real time. And my name is Michelle Cox. I'm a certified life coach. I'm the CEO of the Changemakers of East Texas. And this is something that I really love to do. I love to help individuals, clients, whoever, think about how the way that they consider their circumstances, the way they look at them, and the meaning that they're creating and attaching to their circumstances has so much more power over what actually is the result than anything else. So let's look at our thinking. I'm thinking it's her fault. She's probably still mad at me. She should get over it. Okay, anything else you want to put in there? What's going to go in the thought arrow? It's your thinking about the circumstance. The circumstance doesn't force you to think in a certain way. Our thinking is completely our own responsibility. Our nervous system is going to guide a lot of it, because if we're in fight mode, we're going to look for what's wrong. We're going to look for what's bad. We're going to look for what their faults are and the way that they said it, the way she looked at me, the kind of card she sent in the mail. It should have been this kind. It was, she only texted, she didn't call. You know, the expectations that we have can very much be influenced by the nervous system state that we're in. So if I'm in fight mode and I'm going to look at everything she does as wrong, there's something wrong with it. It was insufficient. Look how she doesn't care about me, you know. So your nervous system is going to guide your thinking. It's all connected. Your thinking, your nervous system, and then how you feel. So now I'm having these kinds of thoughts about her, and this is persisting, right, for 5 years. Well, here we go. I'm going to have emotions as a result. My brain is going to release neurochemicals that will flood into my body, send a signal of danger, right? If I'm having these kinds of thoughts, my nervous system is going to be triggered. And I'm going to think that this is a bad thing, that there's a threat, that my well being is being challenged. And I'm going to experience emotions that are uncomfortable, most likely, right? And your emotions are a physical experience. The tightening of muscles, the way you're breathing, your heart rate, where you're tensing up, or if you're relaxing, or if you're slumping. There's so much that goes into your emotional experience. And a lot of it is physical. It's so physical, it's so real. And I want you to feel validated when you say, I'm angry. You really are. You really are angry. You feel it. Your body is experiencing anger. So name it, say what it is, and then you'll be able to really process it. So, yeah, if I have these kinds of thoughts, I'm so much more likely to feel anger. I probably am not going to be humored by this. I'm probably not going to feel excited and joyful and all these other great feelings that I'd rather feel. If I'm having these kinds of thoughts, I'm going to feel anger. Most likely. Name it. Some other emotion could fill in the blank, right? But it's probably going to be something around that. I'm going to feel resentment. I might feel kind of discouraged. Discouraged from trying anything that could reconcile. I'm going to feel just this is final. There's a finality to it. When we're in our sympathetic nervous system, so we're in fight or flight or freeze. We just are in survival mode. We're not thinking and reasoning. We're in our survival centers of the brain that are hyperbolic, feel very final. This is the end of it all. This is hopeless. Like, this is a very final thing. When you stay in your survival brain, you're going to stay in the cycle. You have to be able to turn on the thinking and reasoning part of your brain in order to shift out. And I'll show you how to do that. So if I'm feeling anger, I'm feeling resentment, I'm feeling discouraged, this is just how it is. How do you think I'm going to behave? What decisions am I going to make? How am I going to show up and proceed with my life when it comes to my sister? I am probably going to continue to not talk to her, right? So, not talk. And maybe there's family gatherings you're going to avoid, or avoid her at them. And I'm going to guess you might be gossiping as well, telling other people what's going on. And she did this and she did that. So then you end up gossiping and trying to recruit other people to see your side and believe you and continue to keep this story going. What's the result? And in the result box, I like to look at the quality of a relationship. So often, that's the result that matters more than anything else. Your relationships are going to have much more of an influence on your happiness, your health, your well-being than how much money you have. And I don't know how many college degrees and success and all of those things are wonderful, but the quality of the relationships in your life will have far more value and impact on your well-being. So let's look at this result. What is my relationship like with my sister in this scenario? It's still a broken relationship. Okay. It's still going to be broken. It's going to continue to be silent. right? No contact. And likely this could fester until there's a big explosion and the quiet is shattered, but it's not likely going to be done in a loving way if this is the pattern. So the thinking has to change. And how's the thinking going to change? A whole lot of it is learning how to calm our body, to name the emotion and feel it and then process it. And like I was saying, journaling can be a powerful way of just getting out those feelings, getting out those thoughts, and all the assumptions that you've had, um, the evaluations of their behavior, and all the history behind it. So much of it might be very exaggerated by now. Doesn't matter. Just write it down. Getting it out is a huge part of being willing to reconcile. So get it out, not as gossip to other people, but as a private purging of the feelings and thoughts you've been carrying for all this time. So purge it out. And then seek ways and opportunities to be peaceful and to be still. Your nervous system needs opportunities to relax. And if we're constantly in a bitter resentment of someone or a circumstance or about anything, our body cannot truly relax. And when we talk about the nervous system being in sympathetic nervous system state, that's fight, flight, freeze, the opposite of that is parasympathetic. And it's most noted for its condition for us when we can rest and digest. So finding ways that you can relax your body, relax your mind, that will help you to turn off the survival brain and allow the thinking brain that's higher and more mature and more highly developed to come back on. It might be walking, it might be yoga, it might be listening to calm music, it might be swaying, it might be doing art, it might be playing music. You can figure it out because your nervous system is going to be the key. So you need to find out what's going to help your nervous system. I could say go for a walk every day. And maybe that's good, but for you, maybe something more helpful could be doing meditation or yoga or singing. I don't know. the reasons that your body is unhappy and tight and tense, whatever caused that inside of you is what you need to use to resolve and take a look at. If it's accessing the right pain, it's going to relieve the pain. So if walking is good for you, then do that. Find ways, make it a priority. As much of a priority as it would be to take a shower, to brush your teeth, to get dressed, and take care of other bodily needs, you need to schedule that walk. You need to schedule whatever it is that is going to help your nervous system in its own unique way to start to calm down and relax and be able to name, feel, and process that emotion and the thoughts that are causing it. So I want to show you how your circumstance doesn't have to change before you start to write a new story. The circumstance will change as a result of you making some other adjustments that you do have control over. You do not have control over your sister's feelings, her thoughts, her behavior, whether she gossips about you or not. You don't have any control over that. But you can change the way you think and the way you feel and the way you behave. So if you come to a point where you've done the work, you've purged yourself, you've done the thought download, the journaling, you've found ways to calm your body and start to open yourself up to be able to think in a different way. Now we're going to work through this cycle and create and find what that magical thought is that's going to change everything. So first you could say, well, why would I want to reconcile? Why would I want to break the silence and try to reach out and hopefully bring back the relationship with my sister? You have to have a reason. The reason for it is going to be what helps you to keep going when maybe you get rejected the first time you reach out, or to have that courage to reach out. So the thought might be the hardest thing to come up with. So let's think about how you would rather feel, or think about what is that result that I really do want. And that's what you're really going to want to hold on to as your why. If the result is you would like to be close again, that's the result. You're close. You call each other, you share your news, you share your ups and downs, you schedule outings together, you want to visit, you want to watch movies together, you want to do painting of a room, you want to do home projects, whatever it is, think about it. What do you really want? What is the vision in your mind of a perfect day with your sister? You've reconciled. What does that perfect day look like now? So the result might be excited to be around each other, to be together. You talk openly and frequently. Okay, so that might be an example of the result. That's what you're hoping to create in your autobiography that you're writing right now in real time. You want to be together. Okay, so what would your decision and your action arrow need to be to have this kind of relationship? Your action might be to call her. Tell her you love her. And especially for the reconciliation part, take responsibility for the part that you played. Maybe you do have to own up to some things that you've been trying to, set aside, forget about, and just focus on what she did wrong. And that can take a lot of courage. It can be painful and embarrassing. When you're willing to do that, you open up the possibility of reconciliation and rewrite your story. So tell her you love her, apologize, take responsibility. And I'm not saying to take responsibility for her actions or her feelings. You're going to just take responsibility for your own. How she responded to you 5 years ago was her business. That was her job to be whoever she was going to be, and she chose that. So you don't have to take responsibility for that. So if I am going to call her and tell her that I love her, that I want to reconcile, how am I going to feel in my body? What are the emotions I need to have in order to do that? So I've mentioned courage. There might need to be a little bit of sorrow for what's happened. Sorrow that there's been a rift. So that might also include a little bit of grief. Grief can be really helpful in wanting to draw and reach out to someone and create connection. Grief can help you to do that. Grieving what was broken can lead you to want to then build what you still have around you, or to build new, something else. Restore. You're going to probably also feel love. You're going to think about the past, and you're going to remember the good times and the good qualities that she has, the things that you do admire and respect about her. And that's what's going to help your thinking brain to be back on, and not just in survival mode, which is about protecting you. Your thinking and reasoning brain is going to think about how to help her, how to build her up, how to make her life better, more comfortable, and be aware of what her needs are, and aware of, you're going to be so much more objective to where then you can see the part you played and take responsibility. So that's what's happening up here, and that happens when you're calm. You have to process and get yourself into a calmer state, get that brain working in your favor. So kind of going backwards now, what would my thinking need to be that magic spark to change the story from one of a broken relationship to one where there has now been reconciliation, and the past can be left in the past and we can create a new future. Because every day we're choosing what is going to be in our story that we'll read later, 20 years later. I wish I would have reconciled. 20 years later, I'm so glad that we reconciled. What is it going to be? What's your story? What's going to be written figuratively or literally? So, the magic thought, and this is what has to be very unique and personal. I can offer my clients different thoughts and they might like, I don't know about that, because it's not their own. They don't own it. It doesn't feel authentic for them. So I give them some options to think about that might help them to kind of start to navigate and kind of create like what feels right for me, to create that thought that's going to create those emotions that then generates everything else. So the thought might be, I care about her and I miss our relationship. And I think a big sign is if you have a sigh, like I just did, it's just a natural thing. I love my sister in real life. This is all fictional, remember? I have a good relationship with her. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's what would fit me. That thought would fit me. That would be the thing I would need to do and say and think in order to create this new cycle. And it might be different. So everybody has to figure out what is going to be the thing that is authentic for you and feels right and fits right and helps your nervous system to guide you. So I miss her. I care about her. See, now it's not just about me and what I'm getting. Oops. Start talking and then I write what I'm talking. I care about her. Those kinds of thoughts. I miss her. I care about her. Then I'm taking it out of what she's done to me, thinking I'm powerless. She's done this. I have no power. She took it away. I actually do have power. I have all the power I need. And I can think things. I can choose it. I care about her. It shifts me from thinking about myself to thinking about her. And then I become curious too, like, how is she feeling? Why do you think she might have said or done that? Why did I do that? Why did I do that in response? Or why did I do that first? Maybe I did trigger it all off. As you're getting more honest, you see it more clearly for what it is, right? So I miss her. I care about her. Then I start to have courage. I might feel first, and this is not in the right order. This is just a fictional scenario. But I might feel some sorrow first. Finally feel sorrow. Sorrow helps to break down that resentment. And then that opens up the feelings of love. And forgiveness. How about that? Let's add that on there. Okay, and with those emotions in my body and with my nervous system being regulated again, I'm now able to call her and say I'm sorry and tell her that I love her and apologize and take responsibility. And if that doesn't work, if she closes the door, hangs up the phone, give it time. Give her time. You made your effort. And the thing that's going to be better is that there's maybe a continued silence because she's still resentful on her side, or she feels like this is a boundary and this is, what she feels like she needs to do. But you have healed. It's better for you to experience that rejection and continue to feel love and concern for her than for you to be living with anger and resentment. Those will tear you up and just eat you up inside and are physically harmful for your well-being, for your health. So it is better to try and to shift into um, a mode and an attitude of love and concern, and feel that grief that she's rejected you for now. But then hope that in time things can get better. You, in the meantime, have done a tremendous work and a huge service for yourself in opening yourself up to want to reconcile. That's huge already. It is huge work and a huge accomplishment and a huge victory. And just think how learning how to forgive someone, even if they don't accept it right away, and maybe not for some time, but even if they don't accept it, but you have learned how to forgive without getting anything in return, is a powerful thing that will then influence all the other parts of your life, where then you are going to be more generous. You're going to be more patient with others. It's going to define you and be your legacy, and people will know you for it, and they'll appreciate you for it. And that's what you're creating. It's who you are. It's your character. It's the definition of you. If someone had a dictionary and your name is in there, this is what they'd read. She's forgiving. She's kind. And that's altruism. When you don't really expect and demand something back, you just give it. Because it just feels good. It's in line with who you are and in line with the person that you want to be. And it's not easy. It's not a 5-minute fix like I've done a little demonstration here. This really takes time. And giving yourself that grace to allow yourself that it takes time. It's not easy to forgive sometimes, and it's not easy to accept ownership of maybe poor behavior in the past. That can be really hard to do. But the more that you have a desire for this result, this is what you want, more than you want to be right and silent, then you're going to open up all the possibilities. You truly are powerful. You have so much influence, and the best thing you can do is be willing to tap into it.